Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Somewhat Scholarly. My name is Alan Hibbard, and today is April 1st, and that marks the beginning of a new quarter. And that means it is time to review my financial portfolio and see what I'm holding and why I'm holding it right now. First up, Bitcoin, 74% of my assets. So why do I have Bitcoin and why so much? Well, to put it simply, it is the #1 asset that I have conviction in. So I believe that Bitcoin is sound money, and I think that the people of the world are figuring it out and they're acting accordingly. So basically what this means in simple terms is that the price is going up and I expect it to go up in the future. And as I look forward at the next 6 to 9 months, I'm thinking that Bitcoin can easily triple in price, possibly quadruple or quintuple. And after the current bull market, I do expect that we will have a multi-year bear market lasting maybe 4 years or so. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to try to exit my Bitcoin position or some of it at the top, or if I'm going to ride it down, but we'll talk about that in the future. Number 2 is Ethereum, coming in at 15% of my assets. So why do I have Ethereum? Well, quite simply, when I researched it years ago, I liked it a lot. And now I'm holding on to it because I don't want to pay capital gains taxes. So while I do think Ethereum has a lot of upside potential in terms of dollar price appreciation, I'm not as bullish on it as I am on Bitcoin. And I recently sold about 20% of my Ethereum to buy more Bitcoin. And looking forward, as I need income to pay for things like housing and food and so forth, I'm not going to sell Bitcoin to pay for those things. I'm probably going to sell Ethereum. You might ask, well, why? And the short answer is I just don't have conviction in that project like I do in Bitcoin. So what about ETH 2.0 and staking and all these things? Okay, they might work. I have no idea. The price of Ethereum might go up. I just don't have a strong conviction that it's going to go up as much as Bitcoin. It's that simple. Number 3, gold, 8% of my assets. So why do I have gold? Well, quite simply, it's because if I'm wrong about Bitcoin and it goes to zero, I need something. Gold has proven its ability to store value for thousands of years. So while the price performance of gold hasn't really been stellar lately, I do think that it is, generally speaking, going to be a good investment for 20, 30, 50-year periods. Number 4, silver. Silver is 3% of my assets. So why do I have silver? Well, it's because in the event of a crisis, something really, really, really bad, hopefully something that will never ever happen, like losing electricity or the internet or something all over the world, it's nice to have something that is a store of value that is spendable. So historically, silver is used during a crisis because it's more portable and divisible, and gold is used after a crisis because it will preserve large amounts of wealth in a small space for long periods of time. So that's why I own both gold and silver, and I'm very happy that the two of them combined are only about 10 or 11% of my portfolio because they are such a long-term play. Number 5, US dollars. 0% of my portfolio. Okay, I mean, actually it's about 0.1% or 0.2%, and it's such a small amount because I just don't like dollars. As I think about dollars as an investment, it's terrible. It goes down in value, guaranteed, day by day by day. So I want to hold the smallest number of dollars that I possibly can. So like I said, when I do need to pay for things like food and housing, I tend to sell some of my other assets into dollars and then spend those dollars. And yes, it is a little bit annoying, but in the long term, it is worth it for me because I do get so much price appreciation in the meantime, month by month, while I'm holding those non-dollar assets. Guys, something else you might notice is that I no longer have any Litecoin. That's because I actually sold it back in October of 2020 and forgot to write down that I sold it. So in my most recent portfolio review, I actually said that I still had Litecoin because I thought I did. And it turns out I sold it before that. So why did I sell it? Well, quite simply, I had to pay for food and housing, and it was the project that I was least bullish on. So as I look forward in 2021 and beyond, sure, I think Litecoin could go up in price measured in dollars, and it could even go up more than Bitcoin, especially during bull runs. But my conviction is not very strong, and I think that most of the reason that the price of Litecoin would go up is for 2 reasons. First of all, unit price. The price of 1 Litecoin is a lot lower and a lot more affordable than the price of 1 Bitcoin. Now, that's not exactly an apples to apples comparison. However, many investors think that it is an apples to apples comparison, and they prefer the cheaper thing. And the other reason is simply FOMO. A lot of investors are going to FOMO in the crypto bull run that we're experiencing right now, and a lot of them are just going to buy anything under the sun. And I think Litecoin is going to receive a lot of attention and a lot of value, so it certainly could go up in price, but it's just not something that I want to be a part of. Guys, you'll also notice that I don't have any stocks or bonds or real estate, and well, I've never owned any real estate, and I've sold my bonds many years ago, but I unloaded my stocks fairly recently because I liquidated my retirement account. And the stocks I had were basically gold and silver mining stocks anyways, so I kind of consider those gold and silver in my mind, although technically they're stocks, but I unloaded them so I can buy more Bitcoin. And looking forward at the stock market, yes, I'm bullish on the stock market. I think the price of most stocks is going to go up, partly because of the Federal Reserve and all the money printing. Basically, the price of all assets is going to go up, but I'm not an expert at picking stocks. I don't want to buy the S&P 500 right now. I'd just rather simply own Bitcoin. One other thing you guys might be wondering is, what about NFTs, non-fungible tokens? Well, basically my view on NFTs is that while some of them are interesting and some are cool, I think that the whole space in general is a bubble. So that means a couple things. One, you could make a lot of money if you get your timing right, and if you get lucky about which NFTs you pick. It also means that a lot of people are going to lose money if they get their timing wrong. So for me personally, I'm just not going to participate. I don't think the tokens are that interesting to me. They're not something I would hold for the long term. I don't think they're necessarily cool to look at or be a part of, and I don't feel the need to really participate in the movement at all. So if they're interesting to you, go for it, but I'm going to sit on the sidelines. Guys, so far we've just looked at my assets, and a proper portfolio review would not be complete without also looking at the liabilities. So let me just quickly say how many liabilities I have compared to these assets and what that means for my portfolio construction. So if we think about my assets as being 100% of my assets, well, how big are my liabilities? Well, 29%. So for every $100 of assets that I have $29 of liability. So what does that mean? Basically, it means that if I were to sell all my Ethereum, gold, silver, and well, dollars, it wouldn't be enough to cover all my debts. So taking that a step further, if Bitcoin goes to zero, my net worth goes negative. And another way to think about that is that Bitcoin represents more than 100% of my net worth. So if my assets are $100 and my liabilities are $29, my net worth is only $71. So for every $71 of net worth, I have $74 worth of Bitcoin, which means my Bitcoin allocation as a percentage of my net worth is 105%. So Bitcoin is 74% of my assets, but 105% of my net worth. So guys, I'm curious what you think. Does my portfolio seem risky to you, or does it seem safe? Because to me personally, it feels very safe and I don't stress about it at all. I've developed a lot of conviction in my investment ideas, and those ideas continue to evolve over time. So what I've done is something that I'm comfortable with personally, but I certainly would not recommend that anyone tries to copy what I'm doing. My only advice for you personally is that you figure out a strategy that works for you. And probably that means you gotta talk to an expert or more than one expert. So let me know what your investing strategy is in the comments. I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.